Welcome to day 3, guys. Let's talk about managing tasks for your job search, okay? Staying organized, working closest to the money. And so when we're talking about working closest to the money, it means that you're focusing your time and energy on tasks that get you closest to the goal of landing a job. Don't spend your time budget on tasks that don't get you closer to your goal. That means that job search is further away from the money than job applications. And applications, you're fine, come on. Then applications are further from the money than conversations, and interviews would be closest to the money, right? So I don't want you to sacrifice interview time for a job search time, or sacrifice having important conversations so that you can do job searches. I've seen a lot of comments about in the 3x3 about I didn't have time to look for jobs because I was interviewing. No worries, that's closest to the money, okay? Do a great job and then do it again. So there's extreme highs and lows on the job search. You're going to celebrate success and then start over. Wash, rinse, repeat. Don't put all of your efforts in one thing and you're on the market until you're not. So while you're waiting for an offer to come through, until it's signed, until all the details have been worked out, you have a start date, you've passed background, you've made sure that nothing else can come up, still keep applying, still keep interviewing. Don't close opportunities until you have a signed offer in place. Too many things can happen. Time is a limited resource. Use it wisely. It is not a renewable resource. So if we look at having 8 hours in a day, we're talking about 480 minutes. Every 15-minute time block represents 3% of our day. If we look at where we're spending our time and what's closest to the money, then we have to decide what tasks are most important. I have laid out a time budget, or a time kind of what we call job search hygiene. These are things I would include. This equals 480 minutes. Learn to time block and really set yourself apart for those jobs that you're applying for. So if you look at having applying to 4 to 6 jobs per day on the job board, it's going to take you about 2 hours to do that. I am going to teach you some strategies about using LinkedIn as well as Google searching to apply for a lot of jobs very quickly. Also using aggregate boards and boards like ZipRecruiter and Indeed that have quick applies. I definitely would do that on some of those that may have been open longer, or that you may feel like it's a long shot. Also working with recruiters, that counts as applying for a job. So if they submit you to a job, totally counts. Send a message to 3 to 5 personal connections, and that could just look like, you know, hey Paula, we worked together at such and such company and I really enjoyed working with you. I don't know if you have heard, but I am actually in the market. If you know of something, would you pass on my resume or my one-page bio? Something along those lines. Spend about 30 minutes a day just talking to people that you've worked with and that you have personal relationships with. Make one original post per day, preferably around a peak time like 6:45 a.m., 8:45 a.m., at 12:45 p.m. and 4:45 p.m. So think about when people are starting their day, lunch breaks, end of the day, those are peak times. Our goal with like really paying attention to those kind of engagement hours is that we want to get you actively engaged with a larger audience, more people see your expertise, but also driving you into that most likely to engage column on LinkedIn. If we look at you engaging on other people's posts, so being an active, supportive member of the LinkedIn community, then we have 6 to 8 likes or reactions. Click a button and move on. And then 4 to 6 comments using at least 8 words for it to count as engagement. Guys, don't spend more than 30, 40 minutes on LinkedIn, okay? It's too much out of your time budget. Attend at least 1 interview or networking meeting. So this is an hour and a half of your day. Make sure you're using it wisely. If you have an interview, maybe skip the networking meeting. I would much rather you skip a networking meeting than take the time away from actually looking and applying for jobs. So remember, you only have so much, just like in finances where we only have so much money. It's okay sometimes to say, I can't attend today, or I have to leave early. We obligate ourselves, or we feel a sense of obligation to be everywhere, listen to everyone, do everything. And it goes back to that principle of if you try to be everything to everyone, you can really be nothing to anyone. So if you Then go into having networking calls or meetings with one person. Remember, 15-minute calls. And actually, if I'm networking, I ask for a 10-minute call because it feels a little bit less invasive. So check in with an accountability partner. This is a huge part. 15 minutes. Spend some time with people who will hold you accountable and call you on your mess. I know I personally surround myself with people who are not afraid to tell me when I'm overcommitting or overthinking or being a perfectionist. Paula is great at that, of saying, hey, you didn't plan time for lunch today. I need you to slow down. And so she holds me accountable, and I need that. Be willing to be vulnerable with somebody who will help you have healthy balance in your job search. Take time to breathe, think, pray, and meditate. Guys, spend an hour just with self-care, of really refocusing your energy, your time, your efforts, your thoughts back onto your core values. And that comes through spending time alone and in quiet places. Nature is so healing and cathartic. Spend time praying and meditating outdoors. Go for a drive with the windows down, something that will get you out in nature where you can experience peace. Networking with 3 to 5 people per day should take about 30 minutes, guys. Once you apply for a job, go out, find connections that work there. Let them know you've applied, that you would love a conversation with somebody, and that will be a good way to spend your networking time. And then spend about an hour learning something new that makes you a stronger candidate, that makes you able to maximize your job search efforts, or learn something new that gets you closer to your goal of landing a job. The next one is that we go for a 30-day job search. So when I ask you to do things that are way out of your comfort zone, remember that in an ideal non-COVID world, we know, like 2019, I recommended 4 to 6 applications per day. For this challenge, I bumped that down to 3 per day, but the average number of applications to land used to be 115, now it's 150, but there are fewer jobs, more people. So just know that where it used to take 30 days for a job search, and that is always our goal, right now it's taking a couple of months. And the slower we are to feed out that activity, a slow drip is never going to fill that activity space as fast, and it's never going to get results as quickly, except for when you have a really good inside connection. So on the challenges of networking come from, there's 2 reasons companies are moving a little bit away from inside referrals as being their primary source of hiring. One is diversity and inclusion, that if your inside teams are the only ones sending people your way, then you may not be embracing a changing culture or a culturally diverse environment. The other thing is, when you're in an environment or an industry that was decimated by COVID, you have an entire industry of people. Most of your networking connections are looking for a job just like you are, and it's hard to network your way in. So instead of trying to just connect with strangers and force your way in, that's where job applications come in, supporting companies that you want to work for, supporting leaders from that company, connecting with people. Josh Ferris is great at reaching out and asking for the connection and having great conversations. And so he's seen some great traction and results with that. He's a good person. I would absolutely recommend you follow him and ask him questions. He's open. It's not just random networking that gets results, and that whole 80% of jobs, which is a very skewed number because it's a lump sum of recruiter referrals, networking, who you know, it's all like, all of that is connected in with that 80% of jobs come from networking. So it's really a skewed number. It's not that they didn't ever apply online or that they just got the job because they knew somebody. It really does only foster if you have the expertise. So a common phrase I use is that it doesn't matter who you know if what you know doesn't back it up. So who you know may open the door, but what you know enables you to walk through that. It's not just random networking. I can't say that enough. It's referrals, not connections. And we talked about that yesterday. For those who worked in those decimated industries, don't lose heart. Keep connecting with people, coaches, influencers, hiring managers, recruiters. It may be a really good idea to work through a recruiting agency. You can't only network with other job seekers. And this is something that I see that concerns me in the job seeker groups, is that sometimes we don't branch out and connect with people who influence decision making. It's networking is a powerful tool, but it is not the only tool in your tool belt. we have a do it now mindset. So tackle the things on your to-do list that you don't want to do those first. Otherwise, your to-do list snowballs and it becomes this list of itemized tasks you dread, or maybe the official job search procrastination list. The growth happens outside of our comfort zone. Go where you're least comfortable and set up camp. If you're least comfortable with networking, go there. If you're least comfortable with creating content, go there and stay there until you become comfortable. You have to constantly be learning and growing and trying new things. Learning to reframe your thoughts is important. Be weary of limited beliefs or closed mindsets that start with phrases like, I can't, I don't like to, I won't, I need, I am not good at. Those are limiting and they don't leave our options open, and they don't present this confident person who's willing to step out of their comfort zone and try anything. Who is thriving during COVID hiring is innovative people, people with high levels of accountability and transparency, self-starters, task drivers, problem solvers, team players, and communicators, people who can project passion and enthusiasm across a camera screen. You already don't have the job, right? So this is just kind of a reframing your thinking. Before you connect, you don't have the job. Before you interview, you don't have it. Before you step outside of your comfort zone, you already don't have that job. So nobody can take that job away from you because you don't have it yet. You literally have nothing to lose here. You have everything to gain by stepping out of your comfort zone and connecting with people and having the interviews and moving forward in your job search. Be willing to try new things. And this is something that I see a lot. It's what separates mature job seekers from our beginners, is that oftentimes beginners are willing to learn and try new things. And so often we are stuck into this Microsoft Office product rut where we won't try new softwares and try new systems, and companies get the misperception of I can't, or that you won't try things, or you won't learn their systems or their technology. And so learn to adapt to other people's workflows and processes. Part of the reason I challenge you to use things like HubSpot and Trello and Monday and all of those tools that we're using is because your way may be great, but it's not the only way. And you have to get into a mindset that I will try and learn new things and adapt to the way somebody else is doing it to see, what can I learn from this? And you may make an informed decision that this isn't for you and that your other way worked better for you. But you also may learn something that actually makes you more efficient in your workflows. And that's okay. But mostly, if you have a closed mindset that this is the only way I will do it, oftentimes you'll be passed up for opportunities for people who may be willing to step more outside of their comfort zone and try those new things. So if you balance this way is working for me with having an open-minded, can-do approach to research and see if there are efficient systems, tools, and processes, then you'll send a message that says, I am a member of your team, not I'm coming in, it has to be my way. The goal is to get you a job. In the next video you see, I'll demo Trello and Monday and show you how to best organize tasks that can seem overwhelming each day. Again, there are systems that you can use and implement if you choose. Otherwise, you can use what's working for you now. So I will talk to you all later. Have an amazing day.